Have you ever heard of Japan's best kept secret? These guys, Japanese mascots, or YuruChara. And if you don't, they're basically a character that represent a location, brand, or product. This is to boost tourism in a given area or prefecture, kind of like a state, but not really, or to drive sales to a product or service. Because boy, are these popular. But we here in the States haven't adopted this mascot culture yet. The closest thing we have to it is probably our sports teams, but that doesn't really represent a city or a region. What if Texas towns had their own mascots? And what would they look like? Well, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take this phenomenon and apply it here for Houston, Austin, and Dallas in Texas. And luckily, most of these mascots are based on really, really rough sketches, so I think we'll be fine. So why are YuruChara so popular? How come some are kawaii and some are literal nightmare fuel? Well, they've blown up the past couple years online and locally in Japan. In 2023 alone, 160 YuruChara were created, and it makes sense as to why. These mascots rake in billions of dollars each year. Not millions, billions. Kumamon, which is one of the most popular, brought in $1.6 billion alone in 2022 and $1.75 billion in 2023. So you can imagine why everyone's jumping on this trend. As for why some of these mascots appear so weird or creepy, prefectures will hold local drawing contests in order to select a mascot for their region, and citizens will vote on their favorite. And sometimes as a gag, the most disturbing one will win and will end up representing their region. But the people are all for it, like this dog here, Hayawan, which represents the Nabari city in the Mie prefecture. Hayawa comes from Hayaway, a term used by the locals to refer to the narrow alleyways the city is known for. I honestly don't know what they were thinking with this one. I can't tell you. Having a creepy character is a legitimate way to stand out when your direct competition is a different iteration of the same cute animal seen over and over again. The annual YuruChara Grand Prix, which has been going on since 2010, is basically a popularity contest to crown those who are the most popular or interesting. Most of these local mascots represent something of significance in their city or their region. An example being the horrifying Melankuma, which represents the Abari city in the Hokkaido prefecture, which those two things are what Abari is known for. Their mascot being a horrifying combination of the two. So that's what we need to do for our locations. What are they known for? That's going to guide us in creating our mascots for our Texas towns. I think the easiest way to classify this would be to give 3 ideas of representation at 3 different levels. 1, internationally, what do people know? 2nd, regionally, what do people in the surrounding area know? And lastly, personally, what is my experience with said city? And to start off, we're looking at Houston. 3, 2, 1. So first, I think most people think Houston, we have a problem when they think of Houston. So NASA and maybe adding some sort of rocket element is a must. 2nd, regionally, there's been an ever-growing worry on the amount of alligators seen in Houston and how big they're getting with each passing year. And lastly, I've been to Houston. I have family in Houston, and it's a swamp. As soon as you get out of your car or plane, it's like you've just walked into a cloud or into someone's hot breath. It's awful. There's 2 things you can rely on when you visit Houston is your skin breaking out and sweating a ton. Okay, 1 down. A rocket alligator that is sweating profusely sounds like a perfect mascot for Houston. Now we're off to Austin. And most widespread knowledge of Austin is that it's Texas capital. Easy. Next, regionally, it's known more as like the free-spirited part of Texas. I mean, the motto is literally keep Austin weird. So I think we're gonna include some dyed hair. And hey, I mean, last time I was there, I did have dyed hair, which leads to how I know Austin, specifically as festivals like ACL and South by Southwest. I'm taking inspo from all the festival outfits I saw when I was there, and I'm feeling like I'm gonna take some inspo from Jinx from Pokemon. And by the way, I almost forgot to add the Capitol building as like her hat, so I think that will do it. That's Austin. Nice. Now we're headed to where I live. Dallas. I think widespread knowledge is that Dallas is a metroplex, like a big city. Boom, skyscraper. Another thing is spaghetti highways. One of the biggest things that you'll find out very quickly if you ever visit Dallas is traffic. It is one of those things that you cannot escape from, and you'll just look upon the void and like the never-ending highway systems and the never-ending loops and the connections and you'll just look there and you'll see your entire 20-minute commute just bumper to bumper traffic, and you'll look out into the distance and you'll just think, what am I doing? Next, regionally. When Dallas is mentioned, suits come to mind because of finance bros. People who work downtown tend to dress up when compared to all the surrounding areas in towns. So yep, we're gonna add a suit. And lastly, my personal experience here. I have a Ring camera and I get notified for every alert that gets sent out in my local neighborhood. And the main thing I see all the time is moms posting about bobcats nearby. Bobcats on the loose. Put your small animals away. I saw a family of bobcats this way. Did you see them? Oh, which way were they headed? North or south? Like, it's a constant thing, and it's honestly so goofy to me how much traction these posts get. It's because it's like all the time. We see bobcats all the time. So yeah, I think the bobcat is going to be wearing a skyscraper suit, if that makes sense. So that wraps up all 3 Texas towns, but I didn't stop there. I actually threw these into ChatGPT with the Dall-E extension, and I asked it to create the IRL versions of these as mascots. And I honestly think these came out really well. It didn't get that the hat that the alligator's wearing is actually a rocket, but I'm actually surprised that the second one got like sweat. It has sweat on it. That's kind of cool. I really like the design of the second one too. So next we have Austin. But I actually really like how these turned out. I like that it gave me 2 versions. It gave me a female version and a male version. I think it's actually really cool. I think the cowboy hat as an addition kind of works. I didn't even notice on this one the belt buckle, and it's even holding a drink. That's so cool. I wonder why I decided to make the eyes green, but they're buff. These 2 are buff. And so now we have Dallas. So the first one, it didn't do very well. It kind of just turned the roads into like a sash. But the second one, when I told it its arms are roads and it's wearing a skyscraper as a helmet, and it actually came out really good. This is really cool. Actually, I think this is way better. It's a cooler version. Like, this is like a night situation, but it's super cool. I think this came out better than the sketch. So that's all the mascots today. Which one is your favorite, and which one would win in a battle royale to the death? And hey, if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe so that way you don't miss when I post the next one.